A defining moment for birthright citizenship. Today, the Supreme Court takes up a challenge that could reshape who is considered an American citizen.
The High Court set to consider President Trump's challenge to rewrite the 14th Amendment. Our Jess Arnold is live outside the Supreme Court this morning with more on this important case. And Jess, long lines are expected wanting to get inside that court today.
That's right. We're already seeing people lined up around the corner here from the Supreme Court, looking like some may have stayed overnight to try to get inside and hear these arguments on this landmark case here. Now, the crux of this is whether or not being born in the United States automatically makes you an American citizen, a right which has been enshrined in the Constitution's 14th Amendment since the Civil War, and whether or not the president's executive order can override that birthright citizenship, which brings us here today.
It had to do with the babies of slaves and the protection of the babies of slaves. It didn't have to do with the protection of multi-millionaires and billionaires wanting to have their children get an American citizenship.
President Trump's team also wanting to apply the order to the children of undocumented immigrants, saying history is on their side. The ACLU and opponents argue that this is settled law with precedent that says, save for a few narrow exceptions, if you're born in this country, you are a citizen, regardless of who your parents are. The Migration Policy Institute estimated that more than 250,000 babies born each year would be impacted by the president's executive order. A group of Democratic attorneys general filed a brief saying that changing the long-held understanding of birthright citizenship would also create an administrative mess, from who can vote and serve on a jury to the federal dollars that states can receive for programs like Medicaid. Opinions have differed outside of the Supreme Court yesterday.
A lot of people coming over, taking advantage of a lot of systems, and I know it's a national security risk.
I'm really hoping to see the justices uphold this and to support a core pillar, I think, of the American promise.
Now, arguments are set to begin here at 10 a.m. this morning, and President Trump said he does plan to attend. Now, when it comes to the court's decision, we'll expect to see that later this summer. Guys.
Right. One of the arguments, too, is whether a president can reinterpret the Constitution essentially, and whether or not a century of legal precedent can be upheld